Hi there, and welcome to the first ever pre-conference. I've invented this today and decided, you know what, I think I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to record this video for my honors pre-calc students and for their parents, just for before conferences. And then after you listen to this, maybe you've gotten all the information that you need. Maybe you weren't going to come to conferences anyways, and I got you a little extra info that you wouldn't have come to get. So here's some ways that I can help you to help your kids to do better in my class. First off, let's say that you were absent and you needed to get caught up because you were absent. It's going to happen to everybody throughout the year that they're going to get absent at some point. If you go to my website, which is davidsurver.com, if you take a look up here, you'll see davidsurver.com. It's hard to remember. If you even know how to spell my name, it should be no big deal. Anyway, if you go here under video lessons, I make a video recording of my daily lessons. That's the top one here. Otherwise, the bottom one is my library of over 200 ACT skill videos, which kids could browse through too if they're trying to get ready for their ACT. But the top one is the one where you would go if you wanted to find out what we did that day in class. So I'm going to click here and just show you an example. For today, the day I'm recording this is February 26th. So the video that I have right here at the top that says HPC on it, that would be your video. And you just click on it and it plays and you hear me explaining what we did in class, and also you'll hear what I assigned. And they're typically in that 35 to 40 minute zone, so you can certainly fast forward me too if you need to. It also works for reviewing for big tests. So those videos are handy. The other thing I wanted to point out here is you probably by now have heard about my top 20. If we go to ACT Prep, this is again still on davidsurver.com. If you want to go directly, it's davidsurver.com/ACT. You find these things called the top 20. I made these because I realized there were some skills that kids were coming in with that were kind of weak, and I wanted to show them, here are the things from algebra that were the most important. So here's version 1 of the top 20, and number 1 there is multiplying a trinomial by a binomial, and by now either they know how to do this or they don't. And if they don't know how to do it, then they can click that little video next to it, number 213. Now, by now, we've taken this several times, and the average kid is up to a 17 out of 20, which is fantastic considering the average score was about an 8 out of 20 when we first started it. So they've gotten smarter on things that are going to help us this semester and are going to help for their ACTs. But let's say you were still stumped on number 1. You don't remember how to do that because the FOIL thing you were thinking of isn't going to work for this, which it wouldn't. So you click the little skill number after it there, the 213. You click on that, and it's a video of me explaining how to do that. So I'm going to stop that, where you have too much inception video inside a video. Wow. Anyway, this set of top 20s with both the tests and the keys, these 5 versions, are everything you need to do well on that top 20. So if you look at your kid's score on the top 20, and it's disappointing, there are kids that are still down in the 10 out of 20 kind of zone. They need to take some time and practice this. They also come in the mornings. Another thing I wanted to mention for this was in the mornings, if you want to come in for extra help, it's Mondays and Wednesday during Mast and Thursdays. And this would be 7:05. Mass starts at about 7:50 on Wednesdays and Thursday at 7:05. So those are the morning help times you can get me. The third thing I get asked about all the time for kids in honors pre-calc is, what am I doing next year? And so here is my current year is pre-calculus. Next year, you're going to have a choice of regular calculus, AP calculus, or IBHL, which is also calculus. Of course, if you're in pre-calculus now, big surprise, you're going to be taking calculus. This is the easiest one. The AP and the IB are both advanced classes. They are both honors type classes. And if I were going to say there's the major difference between the two, one of them is an IB focused plan, which is called International Baccalaureate. If you don't know what that is, look it up. International Baccalaureate is a set of classes that are available at the high school, and very rigorous coursework and good stuff. Most people know about AP classes already. You've heard of getting AP credits. And one other thing that sometimes confuses people, the IB way to go will also take the AP calculus test, just like the AP students will, because that way they can get credit for that AP credit, even though they took the IB version. So either way, no matter which of these two classes you take, you can take the AP Calc test. And last thought, if you take the IB version of the class, it's a little more challenging from this perspective. You're also going to have to take the AP stats test at the end of that year. You don't have to, but it is encouraged. And that means you're taking 2 AP classes at once. That's very unusual. So the IBHL route does get you more AP credits, but it's also tougher in that you aren't spending all your time preparing for the AP Calc test. You're spending at least a quarter of your time getting ready for the stats part. And so the main distinction I want you to focus on here is, do you want to be in the IB program for math, or do you want to be in our AP program? So most of our kids are going to choose one of these two. I've had many kids take both routes, and many kids have come back very happy with either one. So I really don't feel like you can make a big mistake by choosing either one of those. Those are some of the main things that we go over at conferences. Of course, looking at your grades, you can do that by looking at Skyward. Another question that comes up a lot is, can I still turn in late homework? In most cases, the answer to that is no. But on the plus side, at the end of the semester, we'll be tossing out the lowest 3 or 4 assignments, as in drop the lowest score on your lowest 3 or 4 homework assignments, not on tests. So, and if I was going to give out only one piece of advice for improving everybody, it would be do your homework and check your homework with the answer keys that are posted every night. There's an answer key provided every night for the homework problems. I'd say maybe 1 out of 100 times the answers are not posted. Otherwise, the answers are there, and you should look them over, because then you're understanding whether you actually are getting this stuff or not. So there's my pre-conference. I hope this was of value to you. Feel free to come to conferences still. I'd love to see any and all of you who come. Have a great day.